The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for a whole year! And what a year it's been. $80 video games. What the hell are game keycards? It's sold out everywhere immediately. What do you mean variable pricing? Price increases have been announced. When is the next Direct? Nintendo friend-zoned Mario and Peach. Welcome to Nick Knacks. My name is Nick, and I have a knack for spending too much money on stupid stuff. On today's hyperfixation rant, we have the Nintendo Switch 2. I got my Nintendo Switch 2 at launch, via pre-ordering at my local GameStop. I did the whole shebang of waiting hours in line just to get the pre-order, and then waiting again hours in line to pick it up. And a whole year later, I thought I'd talk about my experience with one of the most expensive fidget toys gaming can buy, and answer the burning question of, was it all worth it? Was it? I'll start out by talking about the product itself, and to address the elephant in the room, it's a big elephant. The screen is 3 times bigger than the Switch 1. Pause. 3 times? The Joy-Cons are wonderful, the buttons are big and feel very nice in my big meaty hands. Now that being said, it's almost too big, which kind of negates the whole purpose of this being a portable product, but I always took my Switch 1 in a case whenever I took it on the go, so I don't really have a problem with lugging around what's potentially a weapon for self-defense. Now this thing is not the most comfortable to hold in your hands, especially while laying in bed. This thing is big and it's skinny, and it makes it a bit awkward to hold on to. Now I got myself a case for it that helps the grip feel a little bit more ergonomic, but honestly I feel like I need one of those big foam cases that they put on iPads for babies. I find the most comfortable way to play in handheld mode is with the kickstand and with Joy-Cons. And I gotta say that the kickstand is a massive improvement from the one provided on the Switch 1. It's sturdy, it's thick, and honestly you could carry the whole system by it if you really wanted to. Whereas the kickstand for the Switch 1 is comparable to propping up your phone with a toothpick. The battery life is admittedly not great. It's got about a 6.5 hour battery life on a good day, and a 4, maybe 2 hour battery life on games that take a little bit more juice. One thing that I have noticed is that the system does get pretty hot after long sessions in docked mode. Now this is something that I really don't like to see, especially with a not great battery life. Admittedly, it does get pretty hot in my room, but yeah, not great. Now granted, the battery is a big step up from the Switch 1, the console that I got 7 years ago, so that's great. One thing that I've noticed is that it takes a really long time to charge while playing in handheld mode, and if you're using any old rinky-dinky USB-C cord that isn't the one that's provided with the system, sometimes the system will still drain even while being plugged in, which is really annoying. So yeah, if I had to rate the hardware itself, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. You know, a solid passing grade, but still some room for improvement. Now aside from the product itself, what about the entire purpose of purchasing the thing in the first place? Playing the games. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty fun. The Switch 2 launched with an initial lineup of games that were overall pretty meh. Obviously there was the big system seller Mario Kart World, as well as a handful of third-party games including Cyberpunk something another. But yeah, for first-party games it was Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour, the $10 instruction manual encyclopedia trivia game. Yeah, I skipped on that one. This was also the same time that Nintendo announced the usage of game key cards, a little piece of plastic that looks like a game, but only it contains the download link for the game via an internet connection. Meaning that sometime in the future when Nintendo servers inevitably shut down, the after-sale market will be filled of empty husks of games past, ultimately reinforcing that we do not own our physical media, just a license to play it. That's a scary thought. Now Nintendo seemed to be limiting the usage of keycards for only third-party releases, until recently when they released Pokemon Pokopia, which happened to be on a Nintendo keycard, and that game sold out at launch. Great. You know what that tells Nintendo? It tells them that people don't care, and that they'll buy their games no matter what as long as their favorite silly little characters are on the cover. What was I talking about before this? Oh yeah, Mario Kart. Now by no means is this game perfect, but it's a damn fun one. Mario Kart World adds jumping, wall riding, flipping, all sorts of new combinations of movement are now possible. And I love it. Learning shortcuts for each of the tracks was so much fun, and they're so satisfying to actually pull off during races. And this obviously goes without saying, but the music in this game is chef's kiss. Album of the Year 2025. I also really love the character design. Everyone looks so bouncy and expressive. I will never play the same character twice in this game because there are so many different characters to choose from, and they all look great. And the costumes add a whole nother layer of customization and expression. It's just that some characters get more representation than others. Lastly, I love the addition of the different enemy characters. They all look so ridiculous while driving cars. Shout out to Penguin and Stingbee. These are my boys, and I love them dearly. Now, obviously, the big selling point is the open world. And I gotta say the idea is cool on paper, but in practice is left feeling kind of empty. Now, they did recently add a way to track the missions that you've completed, but I really don't care about stickers. Knockout Tour definitely makes racing through the open world a bit better, despite there being only 8 cups of what should potentially be an endless number of ways you could arrange the race. And racing online was a lot of fun, when you were allowed to pick normal 3-lap races. Break the intermissions! Now, to be completely honest, I did get the Switch 2 for Mario Kart World, and while I definitely have my problems with the game, I still have had a really great time with it. Now, if you want to hear me go further in depth on my thoughts and problems with the game, I did make a video on it, and you can click on it if you're interested. Just watch the rest of this video first. But yeah, Mario Kart World is 7.5 out of 10. A few months later down the line, Donkey Kong Bonanza gets released, and oh man, is this a good game. Donkey Kong Bonanza is an incredible single-player experience, a super fun 3D collectathon platformer. The Mario Odyssey developers really delivered another banger for us. I really love the way that Donkey Kong controls, I really enjoyed all of the transformations, and overall just the movement in this game is so much fun. And let me just say that the way that speedrunners have optimized this game, it's magical. 10 out of 10 game. A bit later into the year, Kirby Air Riders was released, and as a die-hard Smash Ultimate player, I had to see what Sakurai was cooking up when he decided to bless us with a passion project of his. And damn did he cook with this game. Let me start out by saying that this game's presentation and visuals are perfection. Racing around with all of the silly Kirby characters is a great time. And they have a fair amount of customization too, especially with the vehicles. Oh my gosh! This is so cool. The absolute speed that you can generate in this game is crazy. And it really makes me wish that Mario Kart World had 200cc. I will say that this game didn't grip me near as much as Mario Kart did, but I still gotta give mad props to Sakurai and his team for pumping out this absolute banger. 9 out of 10. You can rest now, my sweet prince. Drift away into retirement and do whatever the hell you want. But I'm just saying, if you choose violence, I'm so down for another Smash. Please! Now, while Nintendo released a fine amount of first-party games within its first year, they also released a number of Nintendo Switch 2 editions of games, which are the same exact games from the Nintendo Switch 1 with an extra $10 stamped onto the price tag, or $20 if it included extra content. Most cases, the content was minimal. I picked up the upgrade packs for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and I will admit that these games now run buttery smooth. But then in lies the dilemma. I paid $500 for the console that runs HD hardware. Why I gotta pay an extra $10 per game to use the hardware? And for the case of the Zelda games, I'm glad I have them, but I already have played these games to death, so it'll be great for whenever I get the itch to dive back into these games. But that's $20 that I could have spent on an entirely new experience. So there's that. 5 out of 10 each for being unnecessary. I also got the Switch 2 expansion for Mario Wonder, which came with a pretty good amount of new content, and for $20 it frickin' better have. The Bellabelle Park multiplayer minigames have been loads of fun to play when I have friends over, and the Koopaling bosses that they added are all cool and unique, which is something that Mario Wonder desperately needed more of. The base game bosses kinda suck. 9 out of 10 DLC. The last game I'm going to talk about is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I'll be honest, I did not expect to pick up this game, but after watching some of my friends show me clips from their playthroughs, as well as the tons of memes that were generated because of this game, I decided to dip my toes into Sims for babies. Tomodachi Life is a life sim game where you fill a silly little island with all of your favorite characters from games, TV shows, movies, celebrities, and political figures, and make them have the most heinous and vile conversations that your mind can conjure up.
I've been super into stripping the earth of its natural resources lately.
Really? Me too.
The objective of the game is to grow people's relationships, which allows you to then level up and customize your island. The level of customization in this game is pretty insane, and there's some seriously talented people out there that have created some really impressive stuff. I, however, am not one of them. I call this silly cake. It's silly because it's radioactive. One big factor about the relationships in this game is that they can flourish into romantic ones. This often leads to scenarios that are pretty messy, to the point where playing this game feels like watching an episode of Nintendo Love Island.
Peter Griffin, which of us do you choose?
Peter rejected him. Poor guy. So naturally, I decided to add myself as well as my beautiful girlfriend, who is very real. Now, I had my fair share of competition. I had to gaslight both Peter Griffin and Keanu Reeves that they weren't in love with her. Otherwise, our relationship blossomed as we bonded over all sorts of depraved shit. But I will admit that I did get a little bit pissed off when Walter and Jesse from Breaking Bad got married before we did. But it was a beautiful wedding. 8 out of 10 video game. Where did I put it? Overall, I'd say I've had a pretty good first year with my Nintendo Switch 2. It's a bigger and fancier version of my favorite console. That being said, I wouldn't personally recommend the Switch 2 to any casual gamers that are looking to just dip their toes into gaming when there are many cheaper and more versatile options out there. Well, now that I think about it, the RAM shortage caused by the rise of AI is causing video game consoles and PCs to skyrocket in price, and is likely to continue doing so. So I don't know, go outside or something. But if you like spending your money in stupid ways and you're a Nintendo slut like me, it was pretty worth it. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video, so if you enjoyed it too, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more essay-style videos by me, go ahead and check out my Mario Kart World review. I also make funny moment montage videos of games that I like, so feel free to check that out as well. But yeah, that's about it for me. Thanks for being here. You can go now. Why are you still here?